Hello, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening from whatever part of the world you're tuning in from. My name is Tracy Naubar, and I am your English expert for the IELTS exam. I'm a postgraduate student at the School of Education at Trinity Western University in Canada, and I'm currently en route to a PhD in English. So my academic training is on TESOL, that's teaching English to speakers of other languages just like yourself. And I used to mark the IELTS exam at the British Council. So my daily nuggets are designed to tell you some of the things that I failed candidates for and to make sure that you watch out for them. This week, as usual, I'm dealing with the listening module, and today I will be discussing spelling styles. So, British versus American style spelling, which one is better? I'm not going to campaign for one being better than the other in this video. However, I will say something important, and this is it. The British Council is a proud co-owner of the IELTS exam. The British Council is a UK-based charity for English culture and education, and it's funded by the United Kingdom. Even Her Majesty, the Queen of England, is a patron there. That being said, if the owner of the exam is British, it's only, wise that you tailor your spelling styles to be more British than it is American. I think that you should go for British style spelling when you write the exams, because the exam is being administered, or rather the exam is owned by the Brits. So I'm going to give you some examples on some of the words that differ based on what type of spelling style you're going for. For instance, center, being in the center of a room or being in the center of a topic. Center spelled by the British is C-E-N-T-R-E. However, the Americans would take the R to the end and bring the E before the R. So you have it as C-E-N-T-E-R for the American style. If you were going to spell the word traveler or traveled, past tense of to travel, for the British it would be T-R-A-V-E-L-L-E-R. For the Americans, they'll take out one L, so that would be T-R-A-V-E-L-E-R. If we were going to spell the word organization, now for the British style, you have it as Z, and then for the American style, you have it as S. I'll demonstrate. For the Brits, you have O-R-G-A-N-I-Z-A-T-I-O-N. For the Americans, you have O-R-G-A-N-I-S-A-T-I-O-N. If you were going to spell the word meter, like, where you're measuring something by meter, you have for the Brits M-E-T-R-E, and then for the Americans you have M-E-T-E-R. Notice in some of the words that I've given you as an example while conducting this spelling test, you'd see that the Americans will often bring the R to the end and have the E before it. So a lot of words that end with like theater, center, meter, kilometer, the Brits will always have the R before the E, and the Americans will have the E before the R. So that's like one particular feature you want to watch out for when you're doing spelling, either in American style or in Brit style. But for the IELTS specifically, I'm advising you to do it British style. For the Americans, they would have L in one word, where most Brits will put a double L in the word. Words like modeling, words like counseling, words like traveling, words like jewelry, they'll put the L double for the Brits, and then for the Americans, you have just one L. Also, a lot of American words will have O only, and the Brits would have O and U together. An example of such word is favorite. So favorite spelled by the Brits will be F-A-V-O-U-R-I-T-E. However, the Americans will take out the U and leave just the O there, making it F-A-V-O-R-I-T-E. The same thing applies to the word color. So for color, the Americans would have just the O in there, but the Brits will put the U in there. So for color, you have C-O-L-O-U-R for the British style of spelling, and then for the American style of spelling, you have C-O-L-O-R. Now, that's one other particular feature aside the double L, aside the OU concept, aside the R and the E, there are so many other words that behave in different ways depending on what parts of the world it's been spelled from, either it's an American spelling or the Brit spelling. One word is maneuver. So for the Brits, they would spell maneuver as MANOEUVRE. But for the Americans, they'll spell it as MANEUVER. Notice that even though you have the standard behavior of the R moving before the E in the British style and the E staying right where it is and having the R at the end for the Americans, there's also something that was done differently. The Brits put an O, they put an O, like the alphabet O, before they put EU. But the Americans didn't put an O at all. They left the EU just there to create the sound that they wanted. So some words behave very differently depending on what type of spelling you're doing. I'd really encourage you to take your time and Google a couple of words that are spelled American style and that are spelled British style. Spend a lot of your IELTS preparation time learning how to spell the British concept of those words. You can do as many words as possible. As you do those words, make sure that you're paying attention to the rules guiding those words in whatever type of accent you choose, whether you're choosing to do the British style or the American accent. Pay attention to the rules that the Brits follow when they spell those kinds of words. I isolated some of them today by telling you about the double L concept, the RE concept, the using the Z instead of an S like in the word organization, and so many other words in the English language that behave like that. Also the double L concept like in modeling or counseling, there's that. And then the RE concept like where you have fiber, theater, maneuver, meter, meager, kilometer. There's so many of them like that. And then also you have the OU concept, as opposed to the O, where the Americans just put the O. So you have it in words like color, favorite. There's so many words like that. I'd encourage you to spend a lot of your preparation time isolating those words. When you isolate them, you write down a lot of them. You can have like a whole exercise book or like a whole sketchbook, whatever you're using to prepare for your IELTS. You just write down all of those words. I'd encourage you to write them down or at least type them down. But don't, I'm encouraging you to write more, because when you write, you are emphasizing to the brain that this is what is right for us at this time. But if you just listen or like have an audio where you're listening to these things, it might not really send the message home to your brain. And remember that language testing is a way of understanding how much training your brain has had in a specific language, in this case, your second language, which is English. So you want to reaffirm to your brain that the right thing for us to do is to spell in this particular way, to spell British style, because we're going to sit for a British exam that tests our knowledge of the English language, which belongs to the English people. So basically you want to write down these words as much as possible. Typing, yeah, but I'd advise that, the hand is doing the actual writing on a piece of paper, because when you write with your hands, you're actually reaffirming to your brain what works at that time for it. Your brain is less likely to forget something that you've written, but it's more likely to forget something that you've heard. So take your time out to isolate these words. Write them down, not just writing them down, organize them based on the rules that follow those particular words. So you can do ER words or RE words, British style. You write them down, write like about 20, 50 of them. Google as many as you can find and put them there. Then double L words, you write them down, put as many as you can find. OU words, you write them down, put as many as you can find. All of these rules, write the rules down, and then put example words under. It will help your brain to remember these things so that when you come into the exam setting, you are more prepared to ace the IELTS exam than any other person sitting next to you. And as a final tip, always remember to calm down. Your brain can do this thing. You just have to give it a chance to show you that it can. As usual, thank you so much for tuning into my video. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I look forward to doing another one tomorrow. And don't forget that we are social. We're everywhere as English Expert for IELTS. See you again tomorrow and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.